hello everyone. I have the pleasure of being here at SAS's new lounge in Oslo today with the CCO of Scandinavian Airlines, Eivind Roald. So it's great to be here, great to meet you.
Thank you.
Today we're going to go through an interview, and we have some super interesting questions for Eivind. Two things I want to say first is congratulations on Star Alliance's 20th anniversary.
Thank you.
Just this past weekend, I know there were some celebrations,
right.
And also Glad 17 Mai, that was yesterday, which is Norway's national day. So I always like starting my interviews by asking what makes SAS special to you and what sets you apart from the competition?
I think SAS is special, and you have to put this into a context of a 70-year-old airline that still are alive and kicking very well in a very, very tough competition. But I think it's three things. First of all, we are rated as among the most safe airline in the world. We're working very, very hard to put safety as our first DNA. Secondly, we are among the most punctual airline, and we have been rated among the most punctual airline for years, and we work very, very hard on that. And thirdly, we actually invest a lot in innovation, and innovation in the customer front and innovation in technology. And what you have seen in the past, you have seen an airline that was the first airline that crossed the North Pole, was the first airline from the west of US to Europe actually, and now these days you see an airline that are really in the front with, for example, our app that is rated as among the best airline app in Europe. So I think those three things is the main reason for why SAS is so special.
All right, great. Yeah, the app really is amazing, guys. So how, as SAS continues to grow and develop with your long history, what do those plans look like, and how will you continue changing?
You know, the last year we put more than 400,000 seats into our intercontinental fleet, and we have expanded in US and expanded to Asia with our direct flight from Stockholm to Hong Kong. The next years you will not see an expansion like we had in the last 18 months. First, in 2019 we will get our 350s into our fleet, and then we will consider to continue our expansion from 1920 and so on.
All right, I had an interesting question from a viewer actually. Will you be using the A350 to complement your fleet more than just replacing the A340s?
We haven't decided yet, so that is something that the board of directors need to dig into the next year to come, and then we have an opportunity because we have been able to actually buy out some of our 340s, so it's an opportunity to expand the whole fleet, keeping the 340s, but the original plan is actually to replace the 340s with the 350s. But as we know, have changed the last 2 years, and we changed the investment plan and bought out these 340s, is an opportunity for us to expand. But that we need to come back within the next year and tell you more about that.
All right, very exciting. So SAS faces a lot of competition in Scandinavia, specifically from low-cost carriers like Ryanair or Norwegian. So how has your sort of growth plan changed because of your competitors, and how are they changing the airline?
First of all, I have to say that these airlines is putting a good competitive pressure on us. We stepping up and working much more focused on our strategy. So I think it's a good thing for SAS that we have these type of competitors around us. For short haul, the changes in capacity is of course a challenge for us because it put a pressure on the seats. What we try to do is to be even more focused in our segment. We are very focused on developing and service for people that fly a lot, either it's in business or it's in for leisure travel, and that is our main focus. For the customer's point of view is of course being and even cheaper tickets. So we have seen that a lot of new customers has been coming on board, and we try to expand our services, focusing more on supporting people that fly a lot with their time. So time matter is an important part of our service offering. Working with the lounges that you are sitting in here, working with expanding the number of fast tracks, working with the digital development. Everything is focused on actually securing that people that fly a lot, feeling that we can offer them something special.
Mm-hmm. And what about for the people who don't fly so much, who perhaps get on an SAS flight after being used to flying Lufthansa or something, and they realize that for a few years actually you don't serve any sort of snack in economy. You sort of pioneered the idea of limiting free drinks to, well, in your case, tea and coffee. Now in later years we have seen Brussels Airlines, British Airways, some quite big carriers sort of follow that. But I think you were quite early, which was interesting. So do you see this continuing into the future as a sustainable model for a full service carrier?
I think what we need to adapt to what market is taking up, and if you go to US, you have seen this for years, that for short haul flights you only have this type of service of snack. We have adapted that to Europe. As you said, we were one of the first airline that introduced this a few years back, but we still have our Plus product, and our Plus product is a type of an light business product, and we will announce some new interesting concepts for the Plus product the next month. So you have to look and see what we're coming up with, because that will be a great add-on to the Plus product. So if you wanted to have a little bit more service, you want to have the fast track availability for you, you want to have a lounge, you want to have better food on board, then you should choose over SAS Plus. That is a very, very good product for short haul. But for Go and Go Light, that is our very, very type of light and economy service class. It will still be an opportunity to buy food and drinks on board, but we have taken it away, as you said, and that's just a change in the market, and we adapt to that. We invest more in things that we see that customers are willing to pay for, and take away things that they are not willing to pay for.
Yeah, I think you were definitely ahead of the tides with sort of limiting offerings in economy, because I think we're going to see it more and more, and I guess that actually says something good about SAS and what you're doing. But it's interesting what you said about SAS Plus as sort of a light business product, because most of the airlines in Europe at least block the middle seat and sort of try to make it more comfortable on board. So how do you differ in that way, and how does that reasoning?
The blocking of the middle seat is actually an IT issue for us. We have it on the plan. We are working on it. I can't confirm exactly when we will offer it. You can actually get a blocked seat today, but you have to call our call centers and then buy a type of a service for that we will do a manual blocking. What we hope we will able to do is coming up with a system that you can actually buy that type, the seat besides you, as your type of personal blocked seat. But I can't confirm exactly when that will come into service. We have had it on the table for a while, but it's not on the highest priority among all the IT development issues we are working on.
Very interesting. And would that technically be possible in economy as well?
Probably not. You know, we have still, and thanks for that, a lot of customers that want to fly with SAS, so the cabin factor is quite high. So I don't see that will come into economy with the number of customers we get on board.
All right. So all these questions have sort of led up to a very interesting announcement you made in February, which is that SAS is going to launch an internationally based carrier, a subsidiary, and you're going to fly from London and Spain around Europe and perhaps further. And it's for a long time SAS has been very critical of Norwegian for their sort of ways of dealing with business and basing their carrier abroad, and hiring international crews. So first of all, what makes this different? Are you following Norwegian since you see that it works? And what can we expect from this new airline?
So let me correct you on something. We have never actually been critical to Norwegian regarding their expansion globally. What we have been asking the governments in Europe to clarify their rules and regulations for this type of services. Now they have come forward with a more clear picture on that, and this is a gradually market change that we also have to adapt to. So it's not so strange that all type of businesses now in the airline is gradually moving towards that, and we think that there is a naturally next step for us to take. So it's not so strange actually. Maybe you can see strange outside, but it's a natural step forward in a competitive world we are living in.
Yeah, and this airline will be under the SAS brand, right?
Yes,
yeah.
From a customer perspective, you will not see any type of change. You will have the same service on board. It will be branded planes, that is SAS planes, so, and uniforms will be SAS. So I mean, this is the type of things that from a customer perspective will no change.
Yeah, it's not really a big deal to your average customer.
From a customer perspective, it's not a really big deal. I mean, most of the customers that's flying around the world, they are flying different airlines. I mean, English is a common language for most of the Scandinavians, so we don't think that will be a huge challenge.
So SAS, as Scandinavia in general, I guess, is a very environmentally conscious airline, and you're quite vocal about trying to reduce emissions from your aircraft and your operations. So besides your goal to reduce your emissions by 20%, I think, between 2010 and 2020.
That's right.
What else are you doing to really drive green progress in the airline industry?
So we think that long perspective on what happened in our industry, you will potentially see electricity as a type of a hybrid model coming into to aircraft too. For the short moment, we have an opportunity to take a step forward, and that is actually utilizing the biofuel. So we have been one of the few airlines that have been working with specifically in Norway with Avinor to test out using biofuel on our aircraft. We can reduce up to we can fill up to 50% of the aircraft with biofuel, and then by that reduce actually the emission with more than 40%. We think that is a good step forward to take over responsibility. The challenge is that the biofuels cost is 3 times the jet fuel cost. So we have appealing to the government that they come in and give incentives, exactly in Norway that they have done with electrical cars, for example, and do the same here, because that will be the first step to increase the volume of producing biofuel. We have a larger volume, we will get lower prices, and then it's easier for airline to actually take it on board. Parallel that, we of course need to work with other new technologies, but in short term this is what we can do now, and we will have immediately effect. That's why we are so eager to get the politicians on board on this idea and to support us on going forward and invest in biofuel production in Scandinavia.
Absolutely, that's great. Sweden, in case you guys at home didn't know, is proposing their own sort of solution to, or what they think is a solution to environmental problems caused by aviation, which is a very hefty tax on flights. And we've heard some statements from different people at Norwegian and SAS. What exactly will happen if Sweden passes this tax?
First of all, we have been very clear towards the Swedish government that we are against this tax that they now considering. We have seen the effect in Norway that we see for thin routes, that actually too many customers are leaving these routes, and that the impact potentially can be that we will end up in reducing traffic. We think that it's other things, other type of tools that the government again back to the biofuel that we were working on, and by putting an extra tax on an industry that is producing so extremely low profit, is actually giving the industry even more challenging future. What we need is to get a good enough profit to use our profit pool to invest in new aircraft, to invest in new technology. By that we can in long term be able to actually reduce. This is so short term, and the effect will only be negative in the market.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think it would make more sense to sort of go with, if they need to impose anything, to go with a model similar to what Dubai Airport has done and impose taxes on foreign carriers, but let the national carrier, Emirates in their case, sort of be exempt from the taxes so that they can continue to grow. What about your long-haul destinations? You have a bigger long-haul hub in Copenhagen. Is there any chance you'll move some routes down there if the tax goes through?
No, I mean we will always consider what type of routes that will give us the highest profit, and that's based on the total tax situation for each country, is based on the market and what type of prices we can get out of the market. The fact for Copenhagen today is that the catchment area we have by getting customers from North Germany, we're getting them from the Baltic states, from Poland, of course, from the south of Sweden and Denmark as such, is a much bigger catchment area than we will find around Oslo and in Stockholm. And that's also the primary reason for why we have more long haul coming out of Copenhagen. But if the government, like they consider now in Sweden, continue to put tax into our Swedish operation, we will end up, even though that it's an interesting type of catchment area also around Stockholm, we have to consider what we will do with our long haul. But for the moment, I think it's a bigger impact for short haul than it will have for long haul for the moment.
So just one last question I want to ask that I thought of now. Given Star Alliance's anniversary, what do you view, what is SAS's place in the Star Alliance? Sort of, what is your place in general in the European market?
We have been one of the founders of Star Alliance back in 20 years back, and we are still giving our customers more than 1,326 destinations through Star. We are working very well with our Star partners globally. When we expanded last time to Miami, we have been now establishing also an interlining with our Star partners in South America, and we have done that in Asia. I think the main difference between a low-cost carrier that is flying long haul and a Star carrier that have the network is that if something happened with you, we will always take care of you. And for people that working and have a very, very tight schedule where time is a really important part of their life, they feel that the way Star is taking care of them if something happen, if you have irregularity issues out there, is a good type of investment. So I think Star will continue to develop their network. I think it will continue to give a good substance of the quality of this type of services. What we will introduce during the next 6 to 9 months is an opportunity to actually get access to bonus points among all the Star partners, and that is a common initiative that we are working on within Star, and that will give also all over 5 million Eurobonus members and much broader access to use their Eurobonus points across airlines worldwide.
Oh, so you mean you'd be able to transfer your points to another airline? Or?
No, not specifically that, but you can use it for bonus trips. Much easier. You can still get access, of course, to Lufthansa, United Air, all of them today, but it's a little bit more hassle. You have to call on a call center. We have to find it to you. The future will be that you can get that in your app, or you can get it on the web, so you can immediately see that you can use Air China from Stockholm because they have available bonus seats.
Great.
So it will be a much better solution for all of our Star customers.
Perfect. So this is something that you are integrating in your system.
We will also integrate. No, Star is working on this solution first. They have told us that they estimate before Christmas that it will be ready, and as soon as it's ready, we will integrate it into our system too.
Wow, that's very exciting. And Eurobonus is a great program as well. So
It
it's
is.
exciting
It
to see it improving even
Yeah.
more. Thank you so much for your time. And for
Thank you.
talking to me. SAS is my national carrier, so it's great to finally get to speak to someone and who get more of an insight into the airline. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment below what you thought, and of course follow me and SAS on their social media. And until I see you all next time, fly
Great.
safe.